you. You're a man's man. You're the sole provider of your household. You only have steak for dinner. And when it comes to choosing a movie between a drama or a romantic comedy, you go the action. Probably Die Hard. And like any man, you also want to achieve the middle splits. And that's what we're here for today. The middle splits workout, coming from someone who achieved the middle splits past the age of 20. They passed puberty, they tightened up, they had no prior mobility or flexibility, and the following exercises got me that range of motion. If you like this type of content, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and don't forget to share it if you got something out of it. There's new videos every Tuesday. We're gonna get into the workout, then we're gonna come back and discuss the middle splits a bit more in detail. We're gonna answer some Q&As. We're doing the workout today with Kane, who you saw featured in the one-arm handstand video. His aim is to get more range of motion in that middle split position. He'll be getting that doing these exercises. So let's jump straight into the workout and then we'll discuss it a bit further afterwards. The middle split session begins with a warm-up. There's 4 exercises to do, and do up to 3 circuits of these 4 exercises. Moving on to the workout when you feel sufficiently loosened up. You decide. With these leg swings, you aren't trying to swing or kick as high as possible. You're just kind of introducing some movement in the area we're about to work on. The horse stance squat is an introduction for our groin and hips towards the demands of the horse stance, which is part of the main workout. So instead of holding like we do in the main workout, we're simply squatting into a parallel position and driving back up. Focus on letting your hips feel that depth, stay upright, and don't let the knees cave in. These half split rocks take the demands of the horse stance squat and intensify and specify the stress to the hip capsule and the adductors. Alright, so this probably isn't the most masculine of the exercises, I'll admit that, but I wouldn't have left it in if I didn't feel it was worth it. So don't rush these rocks, ease into it, and focus on feeling the stretch the deeper you go into it. Remember, these are warm-ups, so nothing should be too stressful throughout the circuit. The Cossack slide, a variation of the Cossack squat. I didn't invent it, but I decided to name it the Cossack slide. It's great for warming up as you get to lengthen out each individual leg and feel that stress of the middle split. You slide through horse stance as an added bonus. You'll notice throughout this workout that my feet are facing forward through all these exercises. So I just want to make a note, this is a conscious effort which is addressed at the end of the session. We're diving into the working sets now, although I say that, but I feel like the warm-up carries equal weight to these working sets. So with this Cossack squat and any Cossack variation, it's such an important exercise because it lets you achieve depth on each individual leg that you likely couldn't achieve when you just attempt middle splits. And this is important because you get to experience and adjust to a deeper range of motion and build strength in that position, which you otherwise couldn't do if all you did was just attempt the middle splits and let both legs move out. Adding weight in this exercise is optional. You can see Kane is doing body weight and I'm using weight, but only a 4 kilo kettlebell. At no point are we choosing weights where we're struggling, but rather we're adding weight when we experience little to no resistance with the body weight. The horse stance, it's a great isometric exercise. It's damn challenging. It challenges the adductors and it helps to build muscular endurance for your middle split attempts. So the aim here is to be able to squat to parallel. The depth is going to vary person to person and it does improve over time. And the stick is there just to provide feedback. So I say you need to be parallel in this position, and if you're too high, or basically not deep enough, the stick will roll forward, giving you that automatic feedback that maybe you need to bring your feet closer together so you can get deeper, or bring them out and get deeper, whatever works for you.
I was burning. Oh my God.
So the idea here is to lower to your depth and hold, but majority of the set may involve you lowering into that position. So the 1 minute is more of a guide. If 1 minute has lapsed and you still didn't reach your depth, that's an indicator you might be spending too much time lowering
and therefore fatiguing the adductors before you hit your true depth. It's kind of a balancing act, as you want to spend some time at depth, but you don't want to rush it and you don't want to dawdle either. So use the 1 minute as a guide and you'll work it out. Don't cause pain attempting to go as low as possible. Allow yourself to go where you can, only a slight challenge, never in danger. The following 2 exercises, this passive splits and the active split pulls, are polar opposites to each other, and they should be done interchangeably. So on sessions you do the passive splits, don't do the pulls, and on the sessions you do the active split pulls, don't do the passive splits. Simple. These 2 exercises are also done after the iso hold, as they would both, to their own attributes, fatigue you and risk the performance of the iso hold. For the relaxed split, allow something padded underneath you, slightly higher than your best depth, and something with a little bit of give. Lower to that position and rest there, and allow yourself to get a bit deeper with every deep breath. The key is to progress with this exercise and find a balance between a height that allows depth and an object that has enough give to let you sink into it and go a little bit lower. These active split pulls can be done one of 2 ways. The first one is the ideal way. This is what you want to aim for. You hold onto something above you and you use sliders underneath your feet. So I've got actual sliders, but you can use anything slippery. A laminated piece of paper will work fine. The second option, if you can't find anything similar to this, is to just put your feet on the rings. As long as you hold onto the straps and you stay slow and controlled, things should work out. This is the secondary option to the sliders. The great thing about these pulls is they, for the most part, isolate the adductors and treat them like you would your biceps, with a noticeable concentric and eccentric movement. So it allows us to begin to develop the adductors like they should be after all those years of neglect. And of course, DOMs will be real the following day.
All right, guys, that is the workout completed. Let's just talk about the middle splits just a little bit more. So how often should I do it? I would do that workout 3 times a week. Treat it somewhat like strength training, where you will be fatigued in that area, and it's not something you could keep up every day. The fatigue would get too great and you'd be very likely to have an injury with the way that you're challenging an area that, if you're like me, was quite neglected up until you decided to start training towards middle splits. Another thing I wanted to talk about was shoes. You noticed I was wearing shoes, but Kane was barefoot. You can do either or, but I find shoes more effective at having a controlled kind of grip to the ground and also keeping my feet forward. The other thing, which I think is extremely important for this, is keeping your torso upright during your splits training. So what I've seen in the past is people going for this position. You want to stay upright, but people's back, their butt starting to come out and falling, moving forward like that. Now this isn't manly, we all have to admit. There's 2 exercises, right? There's middle splits and there's pancake. And when you're mobile enough, like someone like Yuri Marmestein, you can connect the 2. You can go down to middle split and you can rock into pancake back and forth. They overlap in that sense. But when you don't have that mobility, sure you should be developing pancake, sure you should be developing middle split, but the middle split training is not pancake training and vice versa. So when you start to lean forward, you're taking, again, effort off of the groin, the adductor area, and you're turning it more into a vertical pancake going down that way, which is not what you want to do. You want to keep the body, you also want to achieve the middle split upright, like that. That's where you get the mobility and the strength and what represents that middle split. That's a pancake, ladies and gentlemen. They're good for the weekend. And then the last thing just to address is the foot placement. The foot can go forward, the foot can go slightly out to the side.
or out that way. To those degrees, I don't agree. I think that the feet should be faced forwards. The reason they should be strictly faced forwards is because if I exaggerate and turn the foot out, the pressure, the stress is no longer on the adductor specifically and on the groin area. If I face the foot forward, now the stress is where I want it to be, what I'm trying to strengthen and further mobilize for the middle split. So that's why I think it's important to have the foot strictly placed forward from my experience, because it's developing, strengthening, mobilizing the areas you need to be strengthened and mobilized for the middle split. I don't think people's anatomy makes that vary. I think that the foot forward is what puts the most stress there, and that's what you want. I want to end the video on one last point. Now, this can apply to everything. I'm Dr. Manhattan, but I want to apply it specifically to the middle splits. Now, people can get too caught up on their goal. The middle splits is our goal for this example. I want middle splits. I want my balls to kiss the floor. And what we do is we get too caught up on that goal of middle splits. And what I think we should do is step back and look at what does the middle splits represent. Well, the middle splits represents an adequate amount of strength and mobility in the adductor and in that groin area. So sure, you can achieve the middle split, but think of what you really want. We want strong and mobile adductors. That's what this workout gives. You can pursue this type of training till you get the middle split, but also you don't need to look at the middle split as the representation of having strong and mobile adductors. That's the end of the video, guys. Comment if you have any other questions. Don't forget to like it if you got something out of it. Subscribe if you want to see more. And the best gift you can give me is if you share it to someone else. Don't forget, new videos every week. I'll see you next Tuesday. Boom!